recording, Lalit.
Yes, sir.
Because there is a thing we maintain about each course. So in
Yes.
that, I have said that the May term had a very great student who helped us get good marks. But I didn't put your name there, so I wasn't sure whether.
Yes. Thank
But
you,
that's
sir.
what I've said.
Thank you, sir. It's so nice of you and it's so gracious of you. Basic, sir, idea of having these sessions, I tell you, I got this idea from the last term because I found that when we study in isolation, then we make some concepts which might be incorrect in isolation. And when we study together, so we always help out each other in some concept. Okay, for example, I'm not clear, somebody will pitch in. So it is a combined learning process, yeah, which we have been following, sir, and it has been helping us all students. So that's so nice, sir. Okay, sir, I have shared my screen. I hope it is visible.
Yes.
Okay, sir. So already we had done one revision session for the end session, and there were some lingering doubts which were there, okay, about two questions which I had later on clarified on the WhatsApp. However, it is the final one. So shall we go one by one? And anyone having any problem in any question, I will stop and then we can solve that question again. And Jadev, thanks a lot, okay, for joining in. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah. So this was a question. Suppose that Nita's utility function, it has been given by UI is equal to 10i 0.5. Straight away we can make out it as a risk averse utility function. I is the annual income. Suppose that Nita is currently earning an income of rupees $40,000. That is I is equal to 40, and can earn that income next year also with certainty. She's offered a chance to take a new job that offers a 0.6 probability of earning 44,000 and zero point 0.4 probability of earning 33,000. So there are three questions in this. One question is whether she's risk averse, risk neutral, or risk loving. So here I will share that any function which is I to power a, where a is less than 1, then it is risk averse. If a is greater than 1, that is risk loving. And if is a linear function ki, then it's a risk neutral. So I hope this is clear to all of us. So she's a risk averse person from this definition. And should Nita take up the new job or not? So Nita will take up the new job only when her utility, present utility, is less than the future utility. So what do? We solve its present utility, which comes to 10 into 40 to power 0.5, which comes 20, and her expected utility is 0.6 into 440, because it is 10 into 40, so this becomes 440 0.5 plus 0.4 330 0.5. So her expected utility is 19.852, which is lesser than 20, so she will not pick up this job. Now in the okay,
Just a thing. So now we are taking E of UA, right? UX. So there is another part also, right? We can take the utility of the expected value, but we are taking
telling him
expected value of the utility.
hello, but he सुन नहीं रहा है.
Even I have that question. In what situation should we take the expectation of utility, and what situation should we consider the utility of the expectation? And there is some relationship which also says that for certain risk averse people, one is greater than the other, or something like that is there, right?
Okay, so for this particular questions, we had to take the utility only, and here this present utility which is there, and this is the expected utility.
No, that is okay. I mean, do you have any hints as to whether here we considered the expectation of the utility?
Yes, expected utility.
But there are also some situations where you have to consider the utility of the expected out value. So what are those situations?
Yeah, that's why the third part, right? The insurance, I wasn't sure whether this method is the one or we should do the other one.
Okay. So
Which
for
will
the
take,
insurance, okay, we complete the insurance part again, and then we'll come back to this question. See, so I will just tell you, I'll open that. If my present income is, for example, 40,000, and if I'm told, for example, I'm not considering the utility function at all, and I'm told that 0.6 times I will get 44,000, and 0.4 times I will get 33,000. So my expected income will become 0.6 into 44,000 plus 0.4 into 33,000. So 6 4 are 24, 264, 24,000, 4 3 are 12, and 132, 006939600. So in this case also, when I'm not considering at all, I'm just considering this only, then also I will not be picking up this job. If I use that also. So here the expected utility, what you are mentioning, it will become 39600 by 0.5. And here it is 20.
yeah, it is 19.8, but both are low, but I don't know which one is right. So that's why.
Is this a coincidence, or is there a reason why both of them are properly coming out low?
Both are coming out same value or different value?
Yeah, I think it will be a different value.
It will be a different value.
Yeah, it's a slightly different value, but
Yeah.
both are lower than 20. So that way the answer is right.
Yeah, answer is
Correct.
right.
Yeah.
And in this case, what will happen that in both the cases, either it will be low or it will be greater, or it will be equal, for example. Contradictory will not happen. That one is giving you low and one another will give you more. And we have seen it from this example. So this being the anthem revision, so that we, I think we focus on just on the questions and the concepts. Okay, we can discuss again during the break also after the quiz. I'm just sharing how I approach this question. Now, here they have said if Nita is willing to join, it means okay, she will be joining now. And also to buy insurance to protect against the variable income associated with it, the new job. How much would she be willing to pay for that insurance income? So see, we have got the expected utility. Now, from expected utility, now we find out her income. What is her income for this expected utility? Because for this expected utility, she is willing to join. So for this, her income comes 39410. But her expected income, which is there, it can vary depending on the probability. Her expected income is 0.6 into 44, 0.44 into 3300, which is 39600. So her insurance, how much she has to pay will be the insurance amount, the difference between these two terms, which comes 190. Is this okay? Jadid, is that okay?
Yes. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is...
Sorry, thing. So I didn't check the PYQ. I generally do it at the end, but the 190 is the correct answer.
Yes.
So if you're doing it, then that approach of taking the expected utilities seems to be the right one.
Yes, sir.
If that answer is matching, because from the expected utility we have derived the income and then we are doing that part. This is the tricky one, right? How do you get the insurance? How much insurance as well as how much premium? So you have to do it correctly.
Yes, sir. So how I did that, sir, I arrived from this that if Nita is willing to join, it means she is joining now. And from that, what was her expected utility? I derived the income from there, that she needs income this much, and her expected income is this much. So insurance will be the difference between that. She pays that so that she's assured that she'll get. The next question is Monopolis faces the demand curve. P is measured in dollars. Monopolis has a constant average cost that is $6 per unit, which is MC. answer the given questions. What are the monopolies? Profit maximization, price and quantity. So monopolies always operates in the MR is equal to MC. So using this, his revenue will become 11, or MR will become 11 minus 2Q, because revenue will become 11Q minus Q square. We take the derivative with respect to Q, we get 11 minus 2Q. And we equate that with the MC, we get P, and from that we get Q also. And then the resulting profit, okay, revenue minus cost, we get 6250. So this is straight away, I think, from week 5 or week 6. Now in the next question, what they ask, it is the same question. Now they ask, what is the firm's degree of monopoly power using the Lerner index? So Lerner index formula is this. We have to remember this. 1 upon elasticity is equal to P minus MC divided by P. And we fit in the values of P and MC. So we get the Lerner index 0.294. Okay, this is another question. This is the Cornet's competition. So in the Cornet competition, we had done the revision that in the Cornet competition, both the firms which are there, they try to maximize their profit. So in this, AC is equal to MC is $5 for both the firms. And the demand is given by Q1 plus Q2 is equal to 53 minus P. So what happens in this kind of question, how to solve this? We had done already, again I will do. So this is firm 1, this is firm 2, this is making Q1 items, this is making Q2 items. So first we find the revenue for this, so this will become PQ1, profit will become PQ1, and minus this is MC. So this will become PQ1 minus Q1 into MC, whatever the value is there. Now we maximize this profit with respect to Q1, and this function which is there, which is Q, basically it will be a function of Q1 and Q2 both. So when we take the derivation with respect to Q1, so we'll get a function which is will be of Q1 and Q2. Same steps we do for this, and here we will get function 2, which is also Q1, Q2. Now solving these two functions, we will get the values of Q1 and Q2, and putting that in the combined demand function, we get the value of P, which is same for both. So I'll come to those steps, how it is done. So this is the combined demand function, Q1 plus Q2 minus 50 is equal to 53 minus P. So we get P is equal to 53 minus Q1 plus Q2. So revenue of firm 1 will become P into Q1, that is 53 Q1 minus Q1 square minus Q1 Q2. And the cost C1 will become 5 into Q1 because marginal cost is 5. Therefore, profit is this minus this. So this will become 53 minus 5, 48 Q1 minus Q1 square minus Q1 Q2. We maximize this profit of firm 1. We get one first function, which is Q2 is equal to 48 minus 2Q1, which I said it is a first function. Same thing we do for the firm 2, and we get the second function, which is Q2 is equal to 24 minus Q1 by Q2. Now solving these two functions, we get the value of Q1 and Q2. We get Q2, we get Q1. Putting
By the way,
this,
these are the same. These are the same equations. Just
yes, sir.
the relation is the same. So if you just divide by 2, and multiply by 2, I think you'll get the same number.
Yes. So we get Q1, Q2, 16, 16 in this. So we have to come to that function, and then we get the price again. We put it in the combined demand function, so we get the P. And using this P and Q1, now we can find the profit for both the firms. So this question has come twice, and it is just if we remember the steps and know the concepts of Cornet competition, then we can easily do that. So like I covered the steps here, we have to find the revenue first, then the profit, maximize the profit. We do it for both. We get two functions. We solve those two functions. We get Q1 and Q2. Put that in common demand function. Then we get P. Now using PQ1, PQ2, we find the profit for 1 and profit for 2. So these are the questions for this. Now, what happens in the Stackelberg? Stackelberg is slightly different. In Stackelberg, one of the firm, which is the leader, we can say, it has got an advantage that he knows in beforehand how much the second firm is producing, and then he reacts. So that is the Stackelberg. So they have said that in the same, if these two firms are competing in the Stackelberg, what will happen? Where one of the firms makes its output decision before the other. Suppose firm 1 is the Stackelberg leader. That is, he makes its output decisions before firm 2. Calculate the equilibrium quantity of the firms, equilibrium market price, and profit 1 and 2 for both the firms in equilibrium. So what do we do here? So unlike in that, what happens, this is the 1, and they have said it is the Stackelberg leader, and this is 2. So what will happen? He is producing Q1, he is producing Q2. So this Q2 which is there, who is not a Stackelberg leader, he will produce Q2. We find his revenue, we find his profit, and then we maximize his profit. So we get a function of Q1 and Q2 we will get. Now using the value of this Q2 from here, now this firm 1 knows that number 2 is producing Q2. So for his revenue and profit, you replace the value of the Q2, which will be in relation to Q1 here. And once you do that, you will get the Q1 star. So he will be producing Q1 star. And now putting this Q1 star here, now you get Q2 star. And generally in these kind of questions, Q1 star is always higher than Q2. And depending on the questions, generally I have seen 2-3 questions where Q1 star is always twice of Q2 star.
Most cases there is a first mover advantage, right? In most
first
cases.
mover, yes. Yeah. So Stackelberg leader who's there, he has always got the advantage. Now here only I will try to cover something. It is a monopoly. Here is a coordinate. Here is a Stackelberg. And here is a perfect competitive market. So the output, the quantity which is there, the quantity is always lowest here, then higher here, higher here, higher here. So quantity is always like this, in this direction. Whereas the price which is there, price is always in this direction.
Yeah, and you can also add Bertrand, that will come under PCM.
Yeah, Bertrand is like a PCM here.
So you can just, even though it is duopoly, it ends up being PCM.
Yeah, it is somewhere there.
No, it'll be exactly as PCM.
Yeah.
It'll go to MC.
Yes,
equals MC.
Yeah. Because if they produce more than MC by 0.1 also, then the market will fail in the pattern. So this we have covered, the concepts we have covered, Stackelberg we have covered. Now this was the question, Fritos question we had covered, opportunity cost. Suppose you purchase 5 large cases of Fritos for a customer who, as it turned out, did not accept delivery. You paid $100 for these cases. You have a deal with your grocers that they will pay 0.25 or 25 cents for each dollar for returned merchandise. So this becomes your opportunity cost. Like if you are not been able to sell, so 25 into 100 cents. Okay, this is 0.25. So $25 is the opportunity cost. Now this week you found a fraternity on campus that they will buy the 5 cartons for $55. So what is the opportunity cost? I have calculated $25. Should you sell the Fritos to the fraternity? Yes, because you are getting a higher price than the opportunity cost. If this price was less than the opportunity cost, you would not have sold. So this is the concept on the opportunity cost.
Yeah. And this is the only question I could see from week 1 to 4.
Yes, yes.
but still some marks.
Yeah.
So he seemed to say that maybe 40% maybe from previous weeks and 60% could be from the later weeks.
Yes, yes.
Seem to suggest that, but I'm not.
Yeah. Okay, this question straight away it has come from the GA that it is the basically question on the information, asymmetric information question. Two used car dealerships compete side by side on the main road. The first Hamid's car always sells high quality cars that it carefully inspects and, if necessary, services. On average, it costs Hamid $8,000 to buy and service each car that it sells. Second dealership, Latif Smith Motors, always sells lower quality cars. On average, it costs Latif only $5,000 for each car. If consumers knew the quality of the used cars they were buying, they would pay $10,000 for Hamid and 7,000 on average for Latif cars. So this is with the information that here the consumers have got information. Now, without more information, here is the part. Without more information, consumers they don't know the quality of each dealership car. In this case, they would figure out that they have a 50-50 chance of ending up with a high quality car, and are thus willing to pay 8,500 for a car. Now, in this scenario, Hamid has an idea that he will offer a bumper to bumper warranty for all cars he sells. He knows that a warranty lasting Y years will cost him $500 per year. He also knows that Latif tries to offer the same warranty. Latif will cost him $1,000. So, sir, this question was confusing, and in fact, in GA, my answers were incorrect. But later on, now coming the answers, what we made out the setup was like this: that the setup is that with information, when the consumers they have got information, Hamid cars is 8,000 selling for 10,000. Latif is 5,000, he sells for 7,000. Without information, and the consumers they don't know, then there is a probability of 50-50 cars selling for 8,500. So the questions are: first question, what is the Latif's profit per car in dollars if he does not offer a 1 year warranty? So this case we have taken that the information is there that he is not offering a warranty, and consumers they have got information. So Latif car was for 5,000 and selling for 7,000, so his profit is 2,000. This we have assumed from this question that it is a scenario of a complete information. Second is, what is Latif's profit per car in dollars if he offers a 1 year warranty? So now this 1 year warranty he is offering only, he will offer reacting to Hamid. Hamid has offered $500, then only Latif is offering. And this is a case, Hamid, why he is offering? Because that is a scenario of incomplete information, when the information is not there. So Latif CP in that case, cost price is 5,000. He offers 1 year warranty, so his cost price becomes 6,000. And this is a case of information not there, so the car will sell for 8,500. Because scenario is that Hamid, the car is same, the customers they don't know which car is high quality, which car is low quality. Hamid is giving for $500 insurance, and Latif is also giving.
No, Latif is not giving. So the idea is that basically both of them are offering warranty.
Yeah.
So it comes back to basically no extra information.
No,
so you still don't know who is better.
So his probability now, okay, he will be selling this car for 8,500. And in this case, his profit becomes 2,500. Now, what happens to Hamid? Now, if Hamid does not, what is Hamid's profit per car in dollars if Latif does not offer a 1 year warranty? So already they have said that Hamid is offering the current warranty. So his cost price becomes 8,000 plus 500, 8,500. And this is a case of information, complete information. So his selling price becomes 10,000 and profit becomes his 10,000 minus 8,500, 1,500. What is Hamid's profit if Latif's offers a 1-year warranty? So this becomes a case of incomplete information. And in this case, his cost price remains the same, 8,500. Selling price becomes 8,500 and his profit becomes 0. And last question is, will Latif match Hamid's 1-year warranty? Yes, because if he does not offer warranty, then all the customers will go to Hamid and nobody will come to Latif. Is it a good idea for Hamid to offer a 1-year warranty? So we have seen here that when Hamid is offering a warranty, his profit becomes 0. So this is not a good idea for Hamid.
Just a small correction, but it doesn't matter for this question.
Yes, sir.
I think Latif will offer the warranty because even when people buy from him with the warranty, because he increases the price, right? So his profit is higher. So not necessarily because everybody will go to Hamid. Even if people come to him, he'll still make only $2,000 profit. Whereas if he offers a warranty, he will make $2,500 profit because the price becomes higher.
Okay. Profit increases. Okay. Okay.
Because there are people who might want to buy a lower price anyway.
Sir, price remains the same in the incomplete information.
No, complete information. Complete information.
Okay,
So
sir.
people who want to pay only 7,000 will still come to Latif, but he will make only $2,000 profit on it.
Yes. Okay, sir. So next question we come to market demand pizza P is equal to 300 minus Q, market supply P is equal to 60 plus 2Q. A tax is of this much is imposed. Answer the given sub questions. The equilibrium quantity and price below incidence of tax. So this is a straight away that demand is equal to supply. We get price is 220, Q is 80. So this is the one.
Yeah.
What is the yes.
Sorry, before this question, one small input
Sir.
for others, right? So this thing, what Lith is doing, drawing a graph, is the simplest way to solve many economics problems. So whenever you get a chance, just draw the graph, right? That will make multiple things clear. So I had mentioned it earlier also, but I'll just repeat it. I see Lalit always starts with the graph. So that is the most important way, very easy way of solving the problem. Otherwise, you'll get confused later. Sorry, go ahead, Lalit.
Yes. So here, sir, without the tax, okay, we get P and Q straight away. And they have asked consumer surplus. So consumer surplus is this part. They have asked producer surplus. So producer surplus is this part. This is the surplus. The equilibrium quantity after the incident of tax. So what happens if the tax is applied? So tax with tax, now the price will increase by 15. So P plus 15 is equal to 300 minus Q. And this becomes, and when we equate with the supply function, we get 285 minus Q is equal to 60 plus Q, and Q becomes 75 and P becomes 210. Now, the new price that buyer pays will pay 225. The net price received by the seller after the incident of tax will be 210. So it becomes like this. I've got, I think, in the next page I've got it here. I have built it. So what is the equilibrium price we have made? Now total surplus which is there. What will be the total consumer surplus? Consumer surplus will be this much. what is the total surplus for the producer will be this much. This is the tax part, and this part is the deadweight loss. And the best way to find the deadweight loss, instead of calculating geographically from here, what do? We find earlier surplus, the total surplus which was there, it was 9600. Now here we find the surplus, this consumer surplus plus tax plus the producer surplus, and subtract this. So we get the, what is the deadweight loss. So in this case, the consumer surplus has become 300 minus 225, that is 75. So 1 by 2 into 75 into 75, this is the consumer surplus. This part will become the tax, which is there, 225 minus 220, that is 15 rupees into 75. We calculate the producer surplus by the same way and sum it, subtract from 9600, so we'll get the deadweight loss. Any doubt on this question, sir? Anyone?
Can you show the first step of the calculation after imposition of tax incidence? Okay. So we have P and Q from the previous question. So you did P plus 15 equal to 300 minus Q, right?
I did P plus 15 is equal to 300 minus Q.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
So this becomes P is equal to 285 minus Q. Because now, and from here we get Q is equal to 75.
I have a sinister this thing that he might change it to kind of a unit tax or something. So we'll have to figure out.
Yes, sir. So then it will become unit tax is equal to, will become Q into T.
Yeah, so they'll become more complex. So we'll have to figure it. Yes. Let's go through this session. We can see whether we have time.
Yes. So here these are the calculations for this. So with tax now, like I said, 75 into 75 into 2, producer surplus becomes 210, because now he will get only, this is 210, he will get 210 only. 210 minus 60 into this, and tax will be 15 into 75. So this is your total, and deadweight loss will be earlier total surplus minus now surplus, which comes 37.5. Okay. So this diagram, if you see, it makes everything very, very clear here. What is the consumer surplus, producer surplus, this is the tax, and this is the deadweight loss, and all that. Jaidev, during that day, revision by mistake, I had written P minus 15. It would have been P plus.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah, later on I had corrected it. Okay, so these are the some multiple answer questions. True about monopolistic competitions. So firms compete by selling differentiated products that are highly but not perfectly substitutable. That is the correct answer. In this, entry and exit are not free in the market. For in a monopolist competition, entry and exit, they are free. Anytime monopolist, he wants to enter, he can enter and he can exit. So if we see all the three options, it has been given, which is not true. Quasi-linear or linear in one good, non-linear in another good, we have seen that is correct. U is equal to min ax by represent complements. This is true. U is equal to ax plus by represents substitute. That is also true. So all are true. Cobb-Douglas function, we know k to power p, l to power q. Shows only constant returns to scale. That is false. Shows increasing, decreasing, or constant returns depending on the value of p plus q. That is true. It will depend on the p plus q. As constant marginal product, it is false for both capital and labor. Okay, that we can clarify by taking the derivation. Then some questions on the price discrimination first degree, where the supplier is able to supply at all the prices. That is the first degree. Third degree price discrimination is the practice of offering consumers a quantity discount. No, it is for the second degree. In the second degree, he offers discounts or packages. In fact, Third degree means the practice of charging different uniform prices to different consumer groups or segments in the market. For example, discounts to students, veterans, all that. So these two are opposite. Adverse selection occurs when a person takes more risks that are not known to the life insurance company because he has life insurance. No, this is a case of moral hazard. Adverse selection happens when there is a incomplete information or hidden information, we'll say. One party does not have information. A person buys life insurance because he has a risky lifestyle that is not known to the life insurance company. So this is a case of hidden information, and that's why adverse selection will happen. A person is a risk lover, so risk does not have anything with the adverse selection or the moral hazard. Pregnant woman with health insurance makes more doctor visits than uninsured pregnant woman. Yes, it is a case. Oh, sorry, it is a case of moral hazard, not of a case of adverse selection. However, if we say the pregnant woman took an insurance and insurance agency was not knowing that this woman is pregnant, then it will become a case of adverse selection. If bad drivers can usually avoid being ticketed by the police, then insurance agencies will. So without using any logic or any concept of the lectures, it is a logic question. They will not be able to use one's driving record as a screening device if they don't have access. And it is a case of adverse selection. Moral hazard occurs when contracts are written in such a way the interest of agent and principal converge. No. One is a principal like insurance company. The second is a person who is taking the insurance, and they are not converging because he starts taking more risk now. The interests of the agent and principals diverge. This is a true case. It is diverging. Agents will wish to maximize the principal's utility. No, he is trying to minimize the principal's utility. Production and risk-bearing efficiencies are achieved. No, only the risk. This is achieved. The production is not achieved.
Yeah, one small correction.
Sir.
The agent will wish to maximize their utility.
Their own, sir. Their own utility.
So it may maximize principal or minimize, that we don't know, but the agent will always maximize because everybody will try to maximize their utility.
Yes. Only the agent taken. For example, he has taken the insurance, and this is the insurance company. He starts going to the hospital more, and this guy keeps on paying the hospital. So he's maximizing his utility, whereas in this process, his utility is getting minimized. Okay, this is a case of it, again from the GA week 9. It is a hotelier's linear market. Uniform is there 0 to 1. Captures competing firms' choices of product characteristics as per the consumer liking. There is a continuum of consumers uniformly distributed over 0 to 1, each with a favorite characteristic liking. When there are two firms, there will be infinitely many Nash equilibriums. No. There will be no Nash equilibrium. No. It was covered by the professor in the lecture also, that equilibrium will happen in this case in the center where the demand will become half. So here okay, will come 0.5, 0.5 and both will come there. Is that correct, Shini sir?
Yeah, this is basically that thing, right? So this actually I saw the video, the second part we were discussing, right?
Yeah.
There will be no Nash equilibrium because when there are more than two people. But finally, in practice, that also comes to the thing. That's why if you see, right, if you just walk around, right, in any place, all the spectacle shops will be together, all the mattresses shops will be together.
Yes.
It all happens because of this.
Yes. So second part has come from there only, that in case there are three firms, so theoretically there is no Nash equilibrium. It is straight away from the lecture. So adverse selection, this we have covered, hidden information, hidden this. And this was the case, again, straight away from the lecture, considering the following entry game as discussed in the lecture. Coke has to decide whether it wants to enter the market or remain outside, where the incumbent Pepsi has to decide whether it will fight or accommodate. So what are the pure strategy Nash equilibria for the normal form game corresponding to this entry? So this is Pepsi, this is Kate, in, out, fight, and accommodate. So we see then when it is accommodating, then equilibrium is happening at 10:10, and in the out case it is 0:20. So these are the two equilibriums which are happening. In the out, it doesn't matter, but these are the two equilibriums. But what happens when the backward induction happens? So backward induction means that Coke knows that Pepsi will not fight. That Pepsi will not fight. Why he knows? Because here in this case, if it fights, if it is fighting, then Pepsi revenue becomes zero. So he knows that he is going to accommodate. So in that case, only the equilibrium which will happen is 10:10. So this is by the backward induction. So in that case, it is in and accommodate. So again from the statement from the lecture. Now this is a question. Initially, there is one firm in the market of cars. The firm has a linear cost function CQ is equal to 2Q. The market inverse demand function is given by P is equal to 9 minus Q. A second firm enters the market and second firm has an identical cost function. Same function remains. So the cornered equilibrium output of the two firms will be what? Okay, so we have solved it. Again, we will do the same. For firm 1, we will find a function which has come here. Similarly, for firm 2, we will get an equation. And solving those two equations, we get Q1 and Q2. So in this case, and generally Q becomes equal for both. So in this case, 7/3 is the equilibrium for firm 1 in the corner. Now what happens for... Sir?
Sorry. There is a formula also, but I think this will always work, right? Doing the equations will work. But for this case, there is an actual formula that we can use from the book.
Okay, sir.
Do we want to mention that or?
Sir, I generally follow the concept, okay, because then any time you get stuck, you can go back.
Yeah, I know that way you don't have to remember the formula, right?
Yes,
yeah, so.
yes, sir.
But anyway, people I'll just try to put the mention in the WhatsApp group. That's why here it will be 3, and in the next case it'll be divided by 4 because that formula itself has that by 3 and by 4.
Yes, sir.
I'll put that again.
Yes. And in the Stackelberg, again, the same steps, what do we do? So remember the firm 1 was there and firm 2 is entering. So what will happen? The firm 2 will react to the firm 1 market and this will be the revenue for the firm 2. And from here we will get an equation for Q2. Now this Q2 value, now firm 1 is the leader, he will react to this and now he will increase his quantity, change his quantity as per Q2. So put this value of Q2 here in this profit and here we get Q1 and now we put Q1 here in this function, we get Q2. So we get Q1 is equal to 7/2 and Q2 is 7/4. So this is the Stackelberg. So we just remember the steps for this. Now consider the discussion of Bryce's paradox in the lecture. Consider there are n motorists. This we have seen that in case this is not open, then time here and time here is same. So half of them will go from here, half will go from here. As soon as you open this road, now on this road only 1 minute it is taking. So everybody will take this only because to reach D here, the time is less than this 45 which is there. So everybody will come through this. Okay, select the true statements about the Bertrand duopoly, which just Shini sir covered. So what happens in the Bertrand duopoly? The firms engage in a price competition. Yes, both firms produce homogeneous products. These are the assumptions. And there is no capacity constraint with both. So all are the valid assumptions for Bertrand duopoly. Select the correct statement about duopoly. Output level in Stackelberg duopoly is less than cornered duopoly. No, we saw monopoly, cornered, Stackelberg, and PCM, which is nothing but Bertrand. Quantity keeps on increasing from here, and price keeps on increasing in this direction. Select the correct statement. Both rationality and common knowledge are important assumptions in normal form games. Yes. In extensive form games, sequential rationality is also required. Both are true in these games. As there are only two firms who sell homogeneous product with no capacity constraint, Bertrand competition leads the firms to set equal price above marginal cost in equilibrium. This is false. They always operate at MC. As soon as they increase from one firm, for example, it increases by even by 0.5, so that firm will be out. Duopoly output is greater than monopoly output and lower than perfect competition output. Yes. So this we have seen earlier also. Duopoly price is lower than monopoly price and greater than price under competition. Yes. Procedure of backward induction in extensive form helps to get rid of unreasonable Nash equilibria and ensure sequential rationality. Yes, we have seen from Pepsi and Coke example. Okay, now these are the questions on the risk. So Robert is deciding whether to buy a lottery ticket. Each top ticket costs $1 and the probability of winning payoff is given as follows. So first is what is the expected value of Robert payoff? Straight away we use and we get the payoff as 1.025. What is the variance? Variance again 0.5 into actual value minus expected value square. We keep on doing, we get 2.811. Now Robert nickname is a no risk Rob because he's an extremely risk averse individual with utility function is equal to u to power w 0.5. So from here only we can make out he's a risk averse person. Where W is his wealth, suppose he has $10 of wealth to begin with. Suppose he buys the lottery ticket, what will be his expected utility? So his expected utility will be he has got $10. He purchases a ticket for $1, remains with 9, and expected is 1.025. So this will become 10.025. So his expected utility becomes 10.025 to power 0.55, which comes 3.166, and which is closer to 3.157 here. Will he buy the ticket? So his present utility, which is there, is 10 to power 0.5, which is 3.162. His expected utility, if he purchases a ticket, is just 3.166. So difference of hardly how much? 0.004. So he will not buy this ticket. Is this correct reasoning, Srini sir, or any additional input in this?
This is also slightly confusing, but I think this just again same thing, right? We are using that expected value utility versus utility of expected value, but we're using expected value of utility. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So here we had
But
covered
the difference
this.
was very small, right? So 0.004. So that is that thing whether we will do it or not.
Yes.
And I, you and Jaydev kind of doing the other equation also with 0.8.
In fact, in the answer, they have given this 3.157.
That is why that's why I thought that they have done the other way around. They have done the U of EA.
U of EA.
Yeah. So they have done the utility of the expected value.
Okay. Expected value. In this case, he's having.
No, you have done. Yeah. Okay. So I think if you do two approaches, right, the answers will be slightly different.
Yeah.
U of E will be different from E of U.
Yes. Yes. So can we do that, okay, sir? Can you give me the formula for that? Expected, okay, this U of EA.
So just find the expected utility from buying the ticket.
From buying the ticket, okay, when he's buying the ticket, it is the same 10 minus 1 plus 1.025.
Is there?
No.
See if
We
he
have to look at the income, right? We have to look at the X
correct.
value.
Income is there.
Yeah, and then utility of each of them and get the expected value of them.
Okay, so from here, if you see, the expected value which is coming here is 1.025.
Yeah, so what you have done is you have taken U of EB.
Okay.
You have taken this utility value, right? 1.025, you multiply by, you took it to the rise of 0.5, right? That's how you got that.
Yes. Okay. So we I'll come back on this. Okay, I'll post it on WhatsApp again. The second formula also here. Okay, sir. Risk averse, risk neutral, risk loving, we had covered. Okay. So this, just to clarify, after the previous session, this is an example of risk averse, risk neutral, and risk loving. So example is there is a lottery ticket for rupees 10 with price is equal to 20. Probability of winning is 0.5. This is a case. And there are three people, Ramesh, Suresh, and Mahesh. Ramesh utility function is I to the power 0.5. So he's a risk averse. Suresh is 10i. So he's a risk neutral. Mahesh is I square. So he's a risk loving. And they all have rupees 10. Will they purchase the lottery or not? So this similar question was there in the G also and here also. So what Ramesh present his utility is 10 to the power 0.5, which is 3.16. If he takes the ticket for $10, his expected utility is 0.5 into 20 to the power 0.5. Okay, I have not mentioned here. Because the probability of winning is 0.5 and the prize money is 20, 0.5 and into 0. So his expected utility is 2.235. So his utility greater than this, so he will not buy this ticket. Whereas for Suresh, his expected utility, his present utility is 10i. So it is 10 into 10, 100. If he purchases the ticket, then his utility becomes 10 into prize money 20 and probability is 0.5. So it is 100. So his present is 100, expected is also 100. So he is indifferent. He might buy or he might not buy. So which happens with the case in the neutral cases. Generally neutrals, they are indifferent. For Mahesh, his present utility is 10 to the power square is 100. If he purchases the ticket, then probability 0.5, prize money 20 square. So his expected utility becomes 200. And as the expected utility is more than 100, he will buy the ticket. So this was an example to demonstrate risk averse, risk loving, and risk neutral. Now taking the same concept to the question which was there in the GA, and there were the scenarios of A investment and B investment. And here the examples were given. I have taken Suresh, Ramesh, and Ganesh. Again, the different utility functions, risk neutral, risk averse, and risk loving. And just by calculating the expected utility, we can get whether he will be purchasing the ticket or not purchasing. So we find averse one, he will select some investment, for example, A in this case. The neutral will select, he will be indifferent, and the risk loving will be go for B because here the likely his utility will be more. So these are the calculations for that. This is for the Suresh, for Ramesh, and for Ganesh. So you find a U for both UA and UB, UA and UB, and whichever is giving more, for that he will go. So this is the question from the GA on the same concept. Expected return for A and B, it comes for both 250, 250. Standard deviation, we calculate the variance. And then for A, standard deviation is 2.36. For B, standard deviation is 38.19. Suresh has a utility function of 5i. What he is? He is a risk neutral person. Which investment he will choose? Now what we do, we find utility of A for him and utility of B for him. Jaidev, that day what we had done, we had used only 250. Whereas in this case, we have to use the probabilities and what are the chances, what are his expected utility. So probability of 0.1, 300, and his utility is 5i. So it becomes 5 into 300 plus 0.8, 5 into 250 plus 0.1 into 5 into 200, which comes to 1250. When we calculate for UB, again it comes for 1250. So in this case, he is UA is UB, so he is indifferent. He can opt for either A or B.
I don't remember. Is this the same answer as we got from the previous method?
In the previous method, okay, we were quite indecisive and we were using speculation that he's 250, 250, and we were using the standard deviation, that is standard deviation for A is less and all that. And what we had applied the logic that in both the cases is expected is 250, 250.
But
so that's why he's indifferent.
one of them should have a lesser standard deviation.
No, in this case, okay, what I found that standard deviation does not serve any purpose here. In this case, you just find the utility only. Earlier, what we applied the logic that in both the cases he's getting 250, A also and B also 250 into 5 1250 and into 5 1250. So he is indifferent. Okay, finally we get that answer only 1250.
Correct. But again, I'm not to put not to be too pedantic, but there is a point of the standard deviation. If you have two options, both of which have the same expected returns, you will compare the standard deviations, right? You will take the one with the less.
Yes,
Please go on.
Yes.
That's also I had mentioned, but when you look at the solution, they have used the same approach. They've said, calculate the expected value of the utility. So if you see the solution that they have provided, right? So they've done this, right? Now what happens is that your utility function, because it is either linear or less than the power is less than 1, power is greater than 1, it is taking care of the EU itself is different between the two options.
And for the risk neutral person, it should not matter. So I mean, another way
No,
to say this is
for the same payoff matrix, because of your utility function being different, your expected utility difference also is different for the different people. So you end up going towards that option. So that way, but if you just follow the solution, this is exactly what Lalit is also doing. That's what they have given. It's simple. You can just take that approach.
Got it.
Okay. So now we come for Ramesh. Ramesh utility function is 5i 0.5. So again, we find utility of A with that formula 5 into 300, 5 into 250, 5 into 200. This is for the case of A. These are the probabilities. And same thing you do for UB. And I have done this calculation on previous page. And this I had found. It comes 78.97 and it comes 77.81. So A value is greater than B, so he will go for A, Ramesh. And same thing we do for Ganesh. Ganesh, here it becomes square. It is 5i square. So 5 into 300 square, 250 square. And here the B value which is there, it is higher than A. Calculation is here. UA is 3,15,000, UB is 3,20,000. So he will go for B. So that is there. So this was one question which we had got stuck that day. So that we have solved. Now we come to
I think at least if we use the same thing as what they have used in their solution,
yes,
right, we can always argue, right? Even after the question, we can argue and ask something. So this is the same approach that they have used. So we can just go with that.
Yes.
Right. In the lecture, he also talks about sigma by
U, that some coefficient.
Yeah, and it is used in many places. So there is something called Sharpe ratio for investments, which is actually the reverse of it, but that's what people use. But we can just go with the simpler approach.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Next question is, your current disposable income is $90,000. Suppose that there is 1% chance that your house may burn down, and if it does, the cost of repairing it will be $80,000, reducing your disposable income to $10,000. Suppose too that your utility function is U2 is equal to I to power 0.5. So you are a risk averse person. Would you be willing to spend $500 to purchase an insurance policy that fully insures you against your loss? So what I followed the concept that his present utility is 900,000 0.5, which becomes 300. Utility without insurance, if he does not take insurance, then there is 99% chance that the utility will remain same, 300. And there is a 0.01 chance, 1% chance that his utility will decrease to 10,000 to power 0.5. So his utility in this case, utility without insurance is 298. So his utility in this case it is decreasing without insurance. If he purchases insurance, then his present utility will be 90,000 minus 500, the money which he spends, and 2 power 0.5, which becomes 299.98. And his utility with insurance becomes 300. So he will purchase the insurance in this case. But what should be the maximum amount of premium which he should pay? So to find that, what we do, 90,000 is his total this. He pays X amount of premium. So this becomes his present utility, and this becomes equal to his expected utility which we had calculated, which comes to 298. We take the square of both, so 90,000 minus X becomes 298 square, and X becomes 90,000 minus 298 square, which comes 1196. So 1196 is the highest amount which he should pay for the premium. He will not go beyond 1196. I hope this is okay, sir. This solution. Unfortunately, I have not seen their solutions. I'll see.
Solution the same they have put. So here, what they have done is, what we are doing is, we are taking the expected utility and deriving the income from it. Okay, because utility is square root of income. So income, derived income is 298 square. So that is how the 298 square comes on the right side.
Yes. So choose the correct alternative here. Okay, we could not understand, sir, the meaning of this fair and unfair insurance. So, but we went with the logic.
Fair is basically the premium is equal to the cost.
Okay. Premium is equal to cost.
The cost. So here the premium is 1196. It will be fair insurance.
Okay, sir.
Unfair is premium is more than the cost. It will always be that way because the insurance company also has their own revenue to make, right? Yeah.
Okay, sir. So then they say that a risk-averse consumer.
They don't say unfair, they say less than fair. Fair and less than fair. That is, I think, the typical word. But here they have used unfair.
A risk-averse consumer buys more than full fair insurance. He will not do that. A risk-averse consumer buys less than full unfair. So less than fair, okay, he will purchase. So we just went by the logic, okay, whereas a risk-averse person, how he behaves. Whereas okay, if he is a risk-loving, he might go for a premium more than cost also. Is that reasoning correct, sir?
Yes, that's basically the thing, right? So because he's risk averse, he wouldn't want to do this. So that is that part.
Yes.
I actually didn't get for the lecture notes also. I couldn't get the fund of what a risk loving person will do.
Yes, sir.
But hopefully they won't ask that question.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. So okay, so this. So with that, okay, we come to week 11 GA. So week 11 GA is with the asymmetric information between buyers and sellers leads to market failure when a market is otherwise perfectly competitive. So this is straight away from the lecture. The market will definitely fail. Why? Because there will be two types of products. One will be high quality and another will be low quality. And slowly, what will happen that high quality goods, they will start vanishing from the market. And they will vanish and the market will fail. Under adverse selection, once insurance is purchased, less risky individuals might engage in behavior characteristic of more risky individuals. So this is false. It is not under adverse selection. This is a case of moral hazard. Adverse selection happens when there is a hidden information. For example, only high risk people participate and low quality goods are there. Moral hazard refers to self-selection of individuals who purchase insurance policies. This is a case of adverse selection. This is not a case. Self-selection, like Shini sir had clarified in the WhatsApp, self-selection of individual means that they know, so they have got the information, they go for the insurance company is not knowing. Similarly, insurance company offers some packages, they have got more information and they get more customers. So that is the self-selection. Co-payments reduce moral hazard by creating a disincentive for policy holders to engage in risky behavior. So what is the meaning of this co-payment? What should we understand? It is an economic term.
Yeah, co-payment is basically you don't pay the full part. That 10, like, you basically pay 10%, right? So or a fixed this thing. So that is the co-payment.
Okay,
So
sir.
whenever you make a visit, so most insurances have that.
Okay, sir. So when I go to doctor and if I got an insurance, I will not get full reimbursement. I will get just like maybe 50% or 60%.
Yes.
So to discourage.
Usually it's 90%. So so like 10% you have to pay, 90% the insurance will pay.
So to discourage me. Okay, sir.
Basically, so that you don't go the same funda, right? That moral hazard, right? So if the pregnant, that if you take that, okay, somebody not pregnant woman, that's actually a wrong. I don't know why they put the question that way.
Yeah.
But somebody goes to doctor too often, even though they don't need it,
Okay, sir.
right? That incentive will be lower, no? Because they have to put 10% from here.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Disbursement.
So
If
who
you
pays the
have
rest of
time,
it?
if you have time, I just mentioned there is something called a super top-up insurance in India, right? Whoever is working, right, you can go look for that. So super top-up insurance is 5 lakh is a deductible, and up to 1 crore you can cover, right? And that insurance cost will be just hundreds of rupees for you, for many of the younger people. Whereas the 5 lakh insurance, from 0 to 5 lakh, that value will be some 10,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees, right?
Okay,
So that
sir.
is the difference. Because the second one, there is adverse moral hazard problem is not there.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. This is the bonus and profit sharing payment schemes are likely to resolve principal agent problems, whereas a fixed phase payment will not. So again, this has come from theory, whereas there was an example of a woman and a worker. So if you give bonus and profit sharing to that worker, he works hard, and they're likely to resolve this principal agent problems. Fixed pay, okay, he doesn't work hard. Sellers may signal the quality of their products to buyers through the standardization of products, certification, guarantees, and warranties. So they all three are true. This is in a case basically to spread more info and to give more assurances. Okay, Mohan is a recent college graduate. After 6 months at his new job, he has finally saved enough to buy his first car. Mohan knows very little about the differences between makes and models or an old and new car. You are a loan officer in the bank. After selecting a car, Mohan comes to you seeking a loan. Because he has only recently graduated, he does not have a long credit history. Nonetheless, the bank has a long history of financing cars for recent college graduates. So in this case, basically, there is a hidden information for both. The problem of Mohan, which car to buy, is of what? Moral hazard or adverse selection? So this is an adverse selection because he has got little information about the makes and models of a car. Choose the correct alternative. The bank's problem in lending money to Mohan is also one of asymmetric information. So this is also true. Bank might be knowing about a lot of other customers like Mohan, but they don't have information, complete information about Mohan. So that is that true, sir? Okay, that understanding?
Yeah, I know. I heard that discussion, right? It's a bit confusing. So I saw the discussion in the Tuesday thing also, right? The discussion. The thing is, the bank has a history of the repayment history of all the recent graduates, right? If we assume some of the history is good, some of the history is bad. See, we haven't said the bank knows whether they will all pay back. They just have the history. Okay, so history will always mean some people pay it back correctly, some people don't, right? Some people lose their job or whatever. So if you take it that way, then the second option also will come to, right? Now, bank doesn't know which bucket Mohan falls under.
Okay, sir.
You get the point? They say, okay, suppose 90% pay back, and 5% get into problem and are not able to pay back. So that means beyond their capacity, right? And 5% cheat.
Okay, sir.
Bank doesn't know which category Mohan falls under. Mohan knows.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Bank doesn't know. So.
Okay, sir. And Mohan has a much better idea than the bank about the quality of the car and his ability to pay back the loan. This is true. While the bank has little information on Mohan's ability to handle credit, this is also true. This both are true, sir. So the both statements are true. A central university bans the assignment of D or F grades. It defends its actions by claiming that students tend to perform above average when they are free from the pressures of flunking out. The university states that it wants all its students to get A and B. Choose the correct alternative if the goal is to raise overall grades to B level or above. So what is the correct here? The policy creates a moral hazard problem primarily for the below average students. So sir, as per our understanding, that now the moral hazard is for these students, because now they will not even study more, because they know for surety that they will get A and B. Earlier also they were not studying, but now when they are assured, so this is a case of moral hazard when you are taking
the
advantage
tricky part
of the
is,
system.
the above average is that, see, if I am a bad student, I am happy to get B. I don't need an A at all, right? So then I will just not study. I know that, see, now if you are only A and B, right? I know that the studying can make a difference between A and B,
Yes.
right? And I am quite happy with B itself because I was getting D before. So
Yes.
I will not study and get a B. So the above average students, now they will try to fight for A. So they will still have to study between A and B.
So this is the moral hazard for this guy. Okay, sir.
Moral hazard only for the below average students.
For the
Above average students, they still have the incentive to
Yes.
study.
So this is one question where we had got stuck that day, and finally I could find out some solution to this. An insurance company is considering issuing three types of insurance policies. One is complete insurance coverage. Second is complete coverage above and beyond a $10,000 deductible. And third is 90% coverage of all losses. So Jadev, what I found out, basically we were confused about this. And later on I found that complete coverage above and beyond a 10,000 deductible means that customer pays 10,000, first 10,000, and then he gets a complete.
This is that co-payment basically, right?
Okay,
So, or the
Oh,
deductible.
okay.
Or the
I thought
actually
it's
it's
like-
not co-payment, it's deductible. This is the deductible. So 10,000 you have to pay.
But this is not the same thing as insured value minus 10,000.
No, this is the deductible, the super top up example I was giving you, right? So
Mhm.
even if you go for $11,000 claim, you still have to pay $10,000 from your side. That's what the deductible basically means, right?
So a deductible is the first set of losses. So up to the deductible amount, your first, if your loss is less than deductible, you take care of it. Only the loss above and beyond the deductible is what the insurance company will pay for you.
Insurance applicable. Yeah. For this example, now we can assume complete loss because it makes it easier, right? So then we can do the same
Yes.
approach.
So first is the which policy is more likely to create moral hazard problem. It is the complete insurance. When he knows that he will get the full money back, that is the time when the moral hazard. But the careless, he's not taking care of the property or car or anything. Now these are the two statements alternatives. If the property is worth less than $100,000, the total loss to the owner will be less than 90% coverage, then with the $10,000 deductible. So here this was an example we have taken that, for example, the property is less than 100,000, take it as example 90,000. Insurance premium is 10,000. Fire happens, he gets only 81,000 because he has got 90%. By now, to get full amount, he has to pay 10,000. So his loss, how much he will be? 9,000 here and 10,000 he pays here. Oh, sorry, he has paid the premium 10,000. So in this scenario, his loss is 19,000. To get full 90,000, he pays 10,000. So his total payment will become 10 plus 10, 20,000. Now this 20,000 is more than 10,000. Therefore, 90% policy is better for him if the property is less than 100,000.
One question. This is I want to correct, right? So
Sir.
they haven't in this question. They have not mentioned the cost of insurance.
Sir, it isn't just an example. Maybe if you can.
Yeah, but there is example. Yeah, the other way to do that is just take the thing, right? So if the property is 90,000, 10%, 10,000 minus is 80,000.
Yes.
Right? Whereas 10% is 81,000 still. So that is the difference.
Okay, sir. Just tell me 90,000 for example, and if he pays the insurance, for example, 10,000.
Don't even have to take the insurance.
Okay.
Don't even put the insurance, right?
Okay, sir. So
the entire thing you claim. So 90,000. If there is a 10,000 deductible, you will get only 80,000 max.
Okay.
Right. And if it is 10% deductible, you will get 81,000.
Okay.
So the 10% deductible is better for you.
Okay. So this is better. So in the same way, we can do about 1,20,000 also.
Same thing, yeah.
So 1,20,000, okay, he will get 108,000. And whereas if he pays 120,000 minus
10,000 flat, he will get 110,000.
110,000, and in this case, he will get 120,000.
No, 110, right? Because he will not get the 10,000 deductible. So
Yeah.
he'll get one. So that way, once it goes above 100, the flat deductible is better.
So this is better now in this case, and in this case, this is better.
Yes, the percentage is deductible. So this is called deductible. The percentage is called copay.
Okay, sir.
And depending on where you are, one could be better than the other.
Okay, sir. Okay. So this was the question. So these both questions we have solved. Now Hamid and Latif sir, we have solved it here. So this is again it has come in PYP. Now week 12 was about public goods, private goods, club goods, and all that. So non-excludable atmosphere is a non-excludable, and we had also made that matrix. Now what is a common resource? So we had made this matrix: public, private, common, club. So non-rival, non-excludable is a public. Private is both rival and excludable. Common is non-excludable, you cannot exclude, but then it is rival. For example, sea and all the fishermen, they are trying to catch fishes. Club, it is excludable, but once you enter the club, then it is non-rival. So these are the four things. So common resource is this one, rival and non-excludable, like sea and fish, example. Public goods are provided by government because because they suffer from the problem of free rider. And if there is a free rider, it will result in underproduction by private markets. That's why they are done by the governments. And how do we solve the problem of free rider?
Sir, if people get confused about common good, right? You can think of the Kaveri problem between Karnataka and TN, right? Yes. So the river you cannot exclude, but there are rivals, right? So because there is only that much of water, so all the river water problems come for common goods.
Yes. And so this free rider problem we solve either by imposing tax or by the tolls, for example, on the roads, or by putting an entry fees in the parks. Otherwise, now we come to the networking effect. Networking effect, example, Twitter and all that we know. Now in the networking, what happens? There are two types of effects. Okay, so this is a platform, and there is one entity here. There is another entity here. So whenever there is an increase or decrease in this entity, it has got two effects. It has got one inter effect here, and there is one effect which affects himself only. So there is an intra effect and there is an inter effect. And same thing will happen by this entity also. So one, it will get affected itself, and second, it will affect the second entity. So within group network effect, and both these effects, they can be either positive, they can be negative, or they can be neutral. Intra and inter. So this we had made earlier, and so this is a question of two friends A and B consider going to sports pub to watch Wimbledon final live. Individual valuation is A and B is 200 and 300 respectively. They also each derive an additional benefit equivalent of 1 INR 120 when they watch the match together. The individual cost of going to the pub is rupees 315. What do they do? So if he goes alone, A, his benefit is 200 minus 315, which is negative, so he will not go alone. Similarly for B, his 300 minus 315, it is negative, so he will not go alone. So they will not go alone. if A goes with B, A's benefit is 200 plus 120, which is getting minus ticket cost, which is 5. So he would like to go with B. Similarly, B goes with A, B's benefit is 300 plus 120 minus 315, which is positive. So he would like to go with A. So there are two options, either no one will go or both will go together. So that is the answer.
Yeah, Jaydev discussed this with the instructor in the live session.
Sir.
And I think he also seemed to say that both could be equal. I think there was some confusion. What did you finally understand, Jaydev?
So when we had our call on Tuesday, at that time it seemed like both of them going is the only correct answer.
Sir, to me also, now also, Mali, I am of conviction that giving this scenario, both will go.
So, okay, I'll tell you why I even thought of both of them not going. First of all, it's obviously given as one option, so it is in the realm of possibility. The second issue is that this is what is called the battle of sexes in game theory. And there it is very clear that both going and both not going are two favorable outcomes.
Okay, sir.
So that is why I mean, my guess was that sure, everybody wants to maximize payoff, but if they are not coordinating with each other, then they stand to lose by one going and the other not going, and those are the only two scenarios which are unstable. So the only stable scenarios, therefore, are the other two. And I think Gopal sir said that you have to consider both. So yeah, I mean, it's entirely my luck that it turned out to be right. I could easily have not understood it properly as well.
Okay, sir.
But the idea is model it as a game, and whatever are the Nash equilibria, even if they are more than one, are still considerations to be followed.
Okay, sir.
But Jaydev, you also asked, right? There is no equilibrium. Nothing is mentioned here. So what do you, what do we apply? And I think that the answer was a bit this thing. He seemed to suggest that if he asks the equilibrium question, he will ask specifically what kind of equilibrium he wants.
Correct. But he also said that if nothing is mentioned, assume Nash equilibrium.
Yes. Okay. So then that's something. Yeah. Okay. Good. So because when we talked to him, he has already said the question paper. So he would have been careful. So probably there are some equilibrium questions. And if nothing is mentioned, we should assume that there is Nash.
So we can model it like this, no, sir? When they go, their benefit is this. He goes, he no goes. Then this is the, we can, and then finally we can make out that these are the two equilibriums, that okay, here 0, 0, and here some values are there, 225 and all that.
So, and then one thing I also want to ask, because equilibrium, I am also confused.
Sir.
We can coordinate and Nash, basically it means you can go along the diagonals also, right? Whereas in a dominant strategy, you either go on one axis, either horizontal or vertical. I don't know whether that is correct, but
correct. But the thing is that if you can coordinate, then the game is entirely resolved. Then there's nothing left to do. You'll certainly go. So there's no game anymore. The game, in fact, arises, or the conflict arises because you cannot coordinate.
Okay, sir. So like in the game, I'm taking an action without knowing, and I don't have any information what B will do. Only I know that B is a rational player. Like in a game
actually, now that you say it, the best that can happen is that it becomes a sequential game, like the enter market, stay out of market condition. Like assuming that Mohan is going, should Sohan go or not go? Or the other way around, given that he is not going, what should you do? Should you also not go, or should you go? So that way we can model it, in which case the game simplifies very obviously, and then you can rule out the absurd sounding results.
Actually, so in this second, only
go is not 315, right? I think smaller number.
Yes, but it is smaller. I've just taken one example.
But you can just put that. So it is more than 0, 0. So everybody will be rationally willing to go to that equilibrium.
So, sir, now you consider this situation, for example, A no go and B go. This will never happen because B will not go alone. If he's negative, he goes, then it is negative. So why B will go?
Here, this is where the Jaydev thing, right? Whether they coordinate or not. How do we assume? right? Whether they talk to each other or not.
So these situations which are there, these situations are not in this. We cannot
No,
model it.
unless otherwise specified, assume non-coordination and assume simultaneous move complete information games, which means that they will make their moves simultaneously without telling the other person. However, they know what the payoffs are, in the sense that one knows what the payoff of the other will be if they make a certain move. They don't just, the only thing they don't know is what move. That's all.
Okay, sir. So let's come to this. Okay, so this was one question which has been clarified in the answer. So that day we discussed that to us, okay, these both options they were looking okay. One was that network goods are usually sold by monopolistically competitive firms, which we
Which is
thought
actually
Netflix.
reasonably true. That is also, I also saw the discussion, and my first comment was, right, you talked about Facebook, no? So the third question, the loss of dominance, you all hear, right? Facebook is used for by people like me, right? And the younger generation uses Instagram, right? So that's why Facebook, which was dominant, has lost the dominance over time.
Yes, yes. So we discussed this also, and finally, and
Yeah,
we
but
had,
I mean, I was, if I had been there at the beginning, I would have told about
yeah,
myself, saying that different generations use different, right?
yeah,
So which means Facebook's actual value has come down.
yes,
So,
yes,
so that way, it is true that even a very dominant player can lose their dominance over time.
yeah.
Usually because of a competition, maybe.
Yeah, in
In this
fact,
case,
yeah, Walmart is also one of the example. If we take the model of Walmart, Walmart also had a
Walmart is
unique.
not a network. I don't think you can take a
No,
network
it is a
use.
networking effect. Okay. In fact, if you remember the lecture, so that professor had covered that mall which is there. It is also like a network kind of thing. He had put a question mark, na, a shopping mall during the lecture.
Yeah. Even
And
Walmart actually is a superstore, so can be
yeah,
taken as a network effect.
yeah.
Right?
But
Because
again,
you go there because you know every good will be there, and then they
yeah,
can also stock every good because everybody will come there. So
yes, yes. Okay, so now from the GA, no, we know that this is the dominance. And this is the question of Alexandria. So this answer we got correctly. It is an example. Merchants want to maximize trading opportunities. So merchants are going there. More traders come. More traders come. More merchants go. So it is a virtuous circle which is there.
yeah, and then Jayadev's comment in that Tuesday meeting was very important, right? Like
Yeah.
the other options do not have network effect. Only the last one is using the network effect.
Yes.
Harbor being safe or not, there's no network effect there, right? It is just a harbor part.
Okay. This is the question of networking effect of the booksellers and the buyers. What they say that bookseller has got an effect of 0.2 on the buyer, and buyer has got a 0.25 effect on the bookseller. So this is beta alpha and this is beta beta. And they have said what will be the effect, how many new buyers will come if 95 new booksellers they come. So in this there are two formulas in this. One is for intra. For intra the formula is k into 1 by 1 minus beta alpha into beta beta. And for inter it is k into 1 beta alpha by 1 minus beta alpha beta beta. So this is a case of a inter. We are finding about the buyer. So we apply this formula and 95 into this. This is the effect on bookseller. On the buyer second will be 95 into 0.2, 1 minus 0.05. So it is 20. So there will be 20 more buyers on this. So in case they ask a question opposite, then we have to remember these two formulas for intra and inter. They can ask that what will be the effect on the booksellers. Is that okay, sir? Straight away, this is a formula only.
Yeah.
Okay. So with this,
But the previous year, they have not asked anything from week 12, right?
Yes, sir. There was no question on that.
But I know that we can leave one full
Yeah,
week. But he keeps saying that week 12 is, at least the network part is experimental and all that stuff. So at least network effect, probably they may not ask questions in case you are running out of time.
Yes.
You don't do that.
Okay, sir.
Actually, he has given a very strong signal right after quiz 2. turns out that until quiz 2, he did not know that we had access to the previous year's paper. After that, he knew. So make of that what you will.
Okay. But sir, knowing him and knowing his lethargy in answering even on the G space na, and his motivation maybe. I'll not say lethargy, but his motivation, I really find because on Discord there are no replies, on G space there are no replies. So, but we should be ready once our concepts are clear, then there should not be any problem. Why should we be afraid of in one subject? We have come to this stage of this course, prevailing through our concepts only. So this is one question about this MEC is equal to Q wala question, and here we have faltered. We had not used he had asked in the question, in a market for dry cleaning, the inverse demand ratio is this function. Marginal cost is this, MC is equal to 10 plus 2. Finally, the pollution generated by the dry cleaning process creates external damages given by the marginal external cost, MEC is equal to Q. Calculate the output level and price of dry cleaning if it is produced under perfectly competitive conditions, which is P is equal to MC. So putting that P is equal to MC, we found Q is equal to 45 and P is equal to 55. Now determine the socially efficient price and output of dry cleaning. So for the socially efficient price, what do we do? Marginal social cost is marginal cost plus marginal MEC, which is given. So this becomes 10 plus Q plus Q, 10 plus 2Q. And we equate now with this with 100 minus Q. So in this case, we get Q is equal to 30 and P is equal to 70. Define the tax that would result in a competitive market producing the socially efficient output. So the tax is equivalent to MEC, only where we faltered that we calculated total tax. So total tax came to be MEC is equal to Q. So it came to be 30, but we had to find the per unit tax. So per unit tax will become 30 by 30. This tax by Q, and that's how it will come 1. This was the only difference. And then calculate the output and price of dry cleaning if it is produced under monopolistic conditions. Then it is MR is equal to MC, and we get 30.
I'm just thinking here. I don't know whether maybe T equal to MEC will also be work.
Which one, sir?
In this, if you just see, because marginal economic cost is 1.
Yes, sir.
That's what we saw, no? So 1. So T equal to MEC might be a simple answer also, but we just have to it's better to calculate it this way.
Yeah, we had used the same, sir. We said that tax which is there is equivalent to MEC. So MEC is equal to Q. So tax is equal to...
No, MEC is actually equal to Q or... yeah, but actually 1 Q, right? So MEC is actually 1.
Yes, sir.
Economic cost is equal to Q.
Yeah.
So that's where we missed, right? So MEC is 1, no?
MEC, they have given as equal to Q. Okay, so this is 1 Q. MEC in the question, they have given equivalent to Q. Yeah. Hello. So finally, now he has given the solution. I have so this is the solution which he has given.
They have also given MEC equal to Q. That actually doesn't make sense.
So this MEC is equal to Q, which is there, sir. This is the total cost. When we apply the tax, the total tax is equal to MEC. Whatever the MEC for whatever they gave, for example, 2Q and all that. So this will become total tax. And what they have not specifically asked the tax per unit we had to find. So tax per unit will come is equal to total tax divided by Q. So for example, in this question, if he had given MEC is equal to 2Q, we'll get different P and different Q, find MEC from there, equate that total tax is equal to that amount and divide by. So I think this number which is there, MEC we can find, MEC is equal to, for example, K into Q, this will be all the T, tax. If you put it in the mathematical formulation. Yes. Yeah. So this I have written here. Okay, sir. This is the northeast and southwest. Okay, already I have this we have done in the GA, but for the revision part, we had done. Somebody had asked on the WhatsApp. that there are two markets, northeast and there is a southwest market, and this is the demand function in northeast, this is the demand function in southwest. Monopolist total cost is this much, and these are the questions. The price and output level that monopolist sets in northeast market. So what do we do for the northeast? It is P1 is equal to 15 minus Q1. C is this much. Monopolist always operates at MC is equal to MR. MR is P1 Q1 by this is total revenue. Sorry, P1 Q1, and we take the derivative of this. So we get 15 Q1 minus Q1 square. This equate, we get P1 is equal to 9 and Q1 is equal to 6 in this case. Similarly for south market, we get 5.5 and 14. And this is a question of the king, that how that king comes, where how that king had come. So how that king will come, that we find this is the northeast demand function 15 minus Q1. This is the southwest. So here we get Q1 is equal to 15 minus P1. Here we get Q2 is equal to 12.5 minus P2 by 2. We add this Q1 plus Q2, we get 27.5 minus 3P by 2. So if we combine, the P remains the same, price will remain the same because the government has applied. So this is the demand function, combined demand function, and if we make it, this will become 18.33 minus 2 by 3 Q1 plus Q2. Now this 18.33 which is there, this is the question that in the northeast the demand function is 15 by 15, 15 and 15. So from 18.33 to 15 which is there, the demand will be there only for Q2. There will not be any demand for Q1. So I have written that I have drawn this, that at P more than 15 there is no demand for Q1 and only for Q2. So what do we do in this formula? P is equal to 55 minus 3. Here we put 15, P is equal to 15. Q1 is 0 up to this. And when we solve this, so we get Q2 is equal to 5. It means up to Q2 is equal to 5, your demand, there will be a kink. So that is the meaning of that kink which is there. That till here, the demand which is there, and this I have demonstrated here, that this 15 and this is 5. This is the here only demand for Q2, and from 15 till 10.67, here demand will be for both Q1 plus Q2. And solving that, we got P is equal to 10.67. Q1 plus Q2 remains 11.5. And now they had asked for the deadweight loss in the northeast market. So using normal, I have found the deadweight loss. And in the case of later scenario, what will happen, that in case the government imposes price restriction of 10.67, then what happens, that if P is equal to 10.67, now in the northeast, your Q will decrease to 4.33. And using that 4.33, we find the profit. And similarly, in the southwest also, now at 10.67, the demand will increase to 7.83, and your profit again then will calculate. So that kink part which is there, it comes from here. This combined demand function which we get, and in that we put that there is no demand, this part. So here we are getting P is equal to 18.33 minus 2 by 3 Q1 by Q. We draw it, we get like this 18.33. Here we get 27.5. This is P, this is Q. But we know that if we make 15, then up to 15 there is no demand in the northeast market, and there is only demand. And solving that, putting P is equal to 15 and Q1 is equal to 0, we get the value of Q, which will be the king. Is that clear, sir? Hello? Hello?
Yes. Yeah. It's a very, very complicated problem. You've done that part. Hopefully people will see the notes. I'm hoping that this question doesn't come. Otherwise, it's going to take a lot of time.
Sir, only that king part which is there, that is slightly problematic. And again, I have solved it. Okay, again, this is again clear. So stepwise, if we go step by step, we might falter in the king, but later on, okay, all other things are very simple on the week 7 and week 8 concepts. So provided okay, we keep on drawing these diagrams. If we make these diagrams, then things okay, become much easier.
Yeah, definitely. I will again repeat, right? So diagrams are very important, and just spend the time because you have enough paper. So don't be, lazy to draw the diagram,
Yes, sir.
draw the graph.
Okay, so this is the question now. This was the question which troubled me a lot due to my stupidity. And Jaidev helped me out. Earlier, what I was doing, I was taking all these numbers as single numbers. So we have to find the dominant and dominated strategies for Airbus and Boeing. So first question was what are the dominated strategies for Airbus? So for Airbus, when we see all the columns, in all the columns we see that this 8.5 which is there, it has got the maximum values in these columns. 82 is larger than everybody.
Which is the first number? Which is the first number? 82.
Yes. In this case 86, in this case 90, in this case 95. So for Airbus, dominant is 12, 8.5, and dominated is all 6.5, 7.5, and 9.5. And now when we come to Boeing, we have to keep on checking here row wise. So in this case here, dominant is 199, 11.5. Here 2111, here we see 12.5. Here we see 229. Here we see is 13.5. So like Jadev mentioned in the G space, there are no complete dominant or dominated, but 12.5 which is there in 2 out of 4, it is dominant strategy. So when we equate both, so 12.5 and 8.5, so this is the equilibrium which takes place at 90229.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that is also even in the non-dominant part, right? The other times the difference is only 1.
Yeah.
199 versus 198 is just a difference of 1, unlike 190 and 198, which is the large difference.
Yes.
So that's why probably 12.5 comes in, but I still don't know whether if you change the values, the number would change.
Yeah. So unlike Airbus, where it has got a complete dominant strategy, here there are no complete dominant strategies, but 2 out of 4 times 12.5 is the dominant. So
actually, this thing called iterated elimination of weak strategies. What this means is that since we know that Airbus has a dominant strategy, right? Sorry, Airbus is the column player?
Yes, Airbus is
the row player.
Sorry, row player. So since Airbus has a dominant strategy, they will certainly play it, which basically means that your table is simplified.
Yeah.
The other 3 rows are gone. And since the other 3 rows are gone, now you are left with a smaller game.
Okay.
And in this smaller game, Boeing certainly has a dominant strategy.
So what will happen that Airbus will play only this row.
Correct. So your game is now much smaller.
Okay. So
and in this game, earlier, you see, in the full game, Boeing did not have a dominant strategy. But in the eliminated strategies game, it has one.
Okay.
And
now
that is the dominant strategy equilibrium, which is also the Nash equilibrium.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Okay. So
the trick is simple, that if you find a dominant strategy for any player, or maybe 1 or 2, whatever the case may be,
okay,
you simply eliminate the other rows and you get a smaller table, you play that table.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, really. So you
Jaidev is doing the game theory course also, right? So that is
exactly. So that is the advantage I have, thankfully.
So Airbus will play only in this row, and in this row, Boeing dominant is 229.
Correct, exactly.
No. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
One other simple trick which we use in game theory to solve these games is what you do is, could you go back to the table? Yeah.
Yes.
So what you do is you iterate over each row. Let's say in the first row, circle the highest value that you get for 6.5 for Airbus.
Okay. This much.
Correct. Do the same in the second row.
Okay.
And the third row. And the fourth. Right? So now we go do the same thing column wise. In the 10.5 column, circle the value that is highest for Boeing. And again for 11.5 and the one for 3.5. Okay, I think there is a mistake. 89. Yeah. Now, the thing is that wherever you see a box where there are two circles, what that means is that both players are playing their respective dominant strategies against each other, and that's why it's the equilibrium.
Yeah. Chalo, but again, this one, na, that again, you just select the row where it is a pure dominant, and then you do that. This is the best again. Quickest solution. Thanks a lot. In fact, the most confusing was this. I was considering this as 66,190, and then I went Jadev help. Then I found some online resources also.
No, absolutely. Because I'll tell you very honestly, the very first example of this kind of a game in game theory, a lot of people had exactly the same problem. So this we eliminated in week 1 of game theory, thankfully. Otherwise, we would have made the same mistake.
Yeah.
But still, we are only in week 1, so we can just go with what they have told. Hopefully, they would not change it too much, even if they ask this question.
Yeah.
Right. Hopefully.
So, sir, with this, I have finished. Okay. Any additional input or any additional somebody wants to add on this?
Yeah, you can continue the recording. Don't have to stop it.
Yes.
So the theory questions were there from the previous weeks, but numerical, there was only one numerical from the previous week. So people have to, people have to optimize accordingly, right? I guess everybody has a balance of how much time they spend. But now that he knows, he could expect that there may be tougher questions. So
yes, sir.
If you have space, I would recommend that you do put some time, because economics, they can make it very tough.
Yes. Only advantage, sir, we have got, unlike the quiz 1 and quiz 2, now at least we will have more time. So we can utilize that time.
Yeah. So.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jadev. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thanks a lot, folks. All the best.
Do you want
Thank
to check
you.
whether the other people have any questions?
Hi, Bhavya, Utkarsh. Any question?
No, sir. All good. Thank you for the session.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. At 6 o'clock, I have got Industry 4 session also, where we will discuss.
Good. And thank you so much, Lalit. You know how much helpful you have been for many of them, and then even your approach and everything. So thank you so much. Really, see, a lot of times we used to say, right, the TAs are the instructors. We cleared initially at least we used to say we are clearing the course because of you. I'm sure many people in this course will say that we are doing well because of you. So
thank you, sir. Thank you. It's
all this karma will hopefully come back to you nicely. So
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Have a very nice day, sir. Good day, sir. Good day, sir.